right, our next question asks, how does sodium in sports drinks aid in glucose uptake? Well, inside of our intestinal epithelia, there are certain transporters that allow sugar into our bodies from our intestinal tract. So this is our intestinal lumen, and here's our intestinal epithelial cell. There are certain receptors basically here, or transporters, that will allow things like glucose to enter into these cells. Now, one of these type of transporters here that is found in our intestinal lining is a symporter that allows glucose to enter, but in order for the glucose to enter, a sodium ion must also be allowed into the cell. So normally, with all of our cells, there's actually low concentrations of sodium inside and high concentrations out, especially, for instance, if you're drinking a sports drink that has a lot of sodium in it. But glucose, there's generally pretty high concentrations of sugar already inside the cell because the cells are trying to use the sugar, right? So we're trying to kind of move the glucose against this concentration gradient. And so normally that's energetically unfavorable. But the way we're accomplishing it is by actually using sodium ions as since the sodium ions are moving down their concentration gradient, this overall movement now is actually energetically favorable. So the sodium is basically moving down its concentration gradient here, aiding in the movement of glucose through the same symporter here in the intestinal epithelia, and that's the answer for this question.